dead calm, but before I went to bed there around 9 o'clock last night, there was looked like a decent buck passed down through where I'm heading to. Anyway, it's just cracking daylight here. Check a few cuts and then I'm gonna make my way down in to where I made a mock scrape and had pretty good activity on the camera back at the end of September, and I hunted it the first of bow season. But spoke something when I was setting up. And then my camera died, so I can't really just go off of pictures. I know they're in there. There's only so much feed around, so anyway, we're gonna see how this plays out today. Well, it's kind of fresh. Something tore it up. It's not much, but it's like something just took a couple swipes. It wasn't there when I was here 3 days ago. Well, it's 11 o'clock. I thought for sure something would be moving this morning, but anyway, I gotta go because I'm gonna move some stands around. Usually don't have crazy activity until about the 1st of November.
One of the joys of hunting Crown land. You didn't even notice me here. My son and I have been baiting here for a month. And then I noticed the other day there's 4-wheeler trucks coming in. I followed his trail up into the woods. Seen his bait. So let's screw that. Taking my stand down and getting out of here.
So it's Saturday, October 28th. We come in to check a bait, and something hit it pretty good. Made a scrape right beside it, so we'll check the pictures when we get home, but hopefully something will come in tonight, eh, Gage? Yeah, it'd be pretty good, eh? The camera's been pretty dead all week, but it's gonna drop in temperature tonight, so I think tomorrow morning will be pretty good. I don't know about tonight, but we're here, so we might as well check it out. It's Friday, November 3rd. Pretty excited. I took the card home from the spy point, and I could get a better picture that way, and it was actually the big 8-point that I've had on camera for the last couple of years, so that means I've had him on camera all summer, and he's been here a bunch, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he's the one that I spooked when I come in here on the first weekend. I was thinking it might have been a doe, but it might have been him, because he stopped traveling this trail a lot and kind of moved. He kind of moved off down there because he wasn't crossing right there. Anyway, this should be a really good setup. He's coming in here a bunch, and there's a bunch of activity. I did a mock scrape down there about, I think, 400 yards. And it was super busy all year. And I had what I called the G2 buck on it. And that buck, I spooked him the second weekend, and I lost him for a while. And then, looking at my pictures, I actually had him on the camera all summer, and he's doing about a 6-kilometer loop. Because I've got 9 cameras out, and he's been on 5 of them. And he's just doing a big loop basically all summer, and I think that's what he's doing now, because I'm sitting 2.5 kilometers from where I spooked him on the second weekend of bow season. And he's been here a bunch too with that 8-point, so. It's Saturday, November 4th. I didn't bother coming in too early. I think I did something to my back getting on my tree stand yesterday. I don't know. I could barely move last night and this morning, but I took a bunch of stuff. Now I'm out and about at least. Anyway, my bait is down in the corner there, and that's where the majority of the deer activity is, but I also noticed that they're traveling right through right here. And they're also traveling right through the middle of the cut, probably after dark, I would suspect. But anyway, the wind's perfect today. I'm going to come in and I'm going to go around to the east side of my cut and maybe rattle a bit and see what there is for a sign down in that corner, because I know that there's some tracks coming from there. So anyway, I'll try something different today. It's wider than a 30-06 shell. Alright, so I come in here quite a ways. And there's probably about 5 or 6 trails that come together just right up here on a little knoll. So I just kind of sat down from it. There's a couple scrapes up there and quite a few tracks. And then one of the trails takes off and kind of goes to my left. And the other one kind of goes straight out in front of me. Doesn't really look like much, but you can actually see down there quite a ways. And it runs right down into where I found a lot of signs. So I don't know what I did to my back, but it's a good chance to sit down and take a break here. But might rattle a little bit and then slowly make my way down to the right. Follow one of the other trails for a bit. There's still lots of wind, so you can move around quite quiet. Ooh, that was crazy. I was just coming back out after doing a little bit of snooping around. And there's a buck standing on the trail up here. I have no idea what it was. But I'm sure I hit him good. He jumped right up with a big kick. We're gonna go up here in a second and see. It looked like he had a pretty good body on him, so. Okay. We're just gonna wait a second and go up. It's right on the trail. I just come down here like an hour ago. And it's like, I think it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. He was standing up there. He was like maybe 100 yards, not even. Alright. There's lots of hair. Point of impact here, so. See where he jumped in. We've got blood. Some right there. Some there. Some there. Hopefully he's not in here very far. What's up here too? What's right here? Good. All kinds of blood. I found him. I think it's at 8 point. I thought, well, I wanted to be out between like 9 and 3 basically, because I've always had a lot of activity on cameras and stuff that way. And anyway, baits were pretty much dead, but there's been a lot of chasing going on and stuff. And I thought I'd switch it up today. And I found an old logging road and I grunted my way all the way down it. Sat down by my mineral for an hour and grunted down there a little bit and slowly came back up through. And it's been quite windy, like a really strong west wind all day today. And coming back up, and I don't even think he could see me because he was standing right in the sun. You could just see his antlers glowing. I didn't know what buck it was. I was really hoping it was the huge 8, but I mean, I can't complain with that. That's a pretty nice deer right there. So, you know, one thing about walking around a bunch, I love finding old stands like that. And it's funny because that stand's about 15 yards away from where I shot my deer today. We managed to get the 04-wheeler in, so we're going to be able to load him up here and take him out. My wife was nice enough to come with us. Alright, Gage and Natalie, you going to lift them on? Yeah. Alright. Alright, I'll talk about my deer for a second here. It never ended up being as heavy as what I thought. Had some ground shrinkage there. I mean, it's probably the nicest 2-year-old I've ever seen. So, I mean, that kind of, it is what it is. I try to let the 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds walk, but in that type of a situation, it was so hard to tell, so hard to judge a deer standing there in the bushes like that. I just knew he had a half decent rack on his head, and I thought, well, it's going to be a half decent deer, so I fired away. I kind of wish I was still hunting, but after spooking that G2 buck in bow season and then spooking something there, whereas getting that 8-point early in bow season is just, I probably got too close, just got a little bit too aggressive early, but anyway, it is what it is. That's how you learn, and maybe next year it will work out better for me. So my buddy Matt's supposed to be coming down and hunting at least the last 3 or 4 days, so I gotta try and get some bait out and check some cameras, and I gotta move a few things around here and see what's going on. But anyway, nobody else is having a whole lot of luck yet, but there's still a week left in rifle season, and we'll see how that plays out. So we're just coming in to check one of my spots here, and we got down in almost probably 150 yards away, and there's just tails going everywhere. And this here is the 7th scrape I found. Now, I made a mock scrape here, and my camera died, so I don't know if anything hit it, but they made a scrape right beside it. Check that out. That's fresh. I was just in here before I shot my deer on Saturday, and there was no sign at all. That's where I made my mock scrape. Like I said, 2 yards, 3 yards away, they made one there. So we gotta hurry up and do this and get out, because there is deer everywhere in here right now. It's crazy. It makes me just want to come and sit here on the weekend just to see what's here, because I couldn't tell what those 5 deer were, or 5 or 6, whatever it was. Because they all took off, and it's quite thick. They definitely smelled us. It's a northwest wind today, so it blew right at them, but anyway. We got out of there as quick as we could. A bunch of pictures on the camera, so we'll see if there's any surprises there. So it's a Saturday, second last day to rifle, and I was just out here checking stuff real quick, and it's raining pretty bad, but I found a nice track right there. It's like exactly the same size as my hand, basically. You travel around the edge of a bog here. Anyway, I put my camera with the cell link there. Just come up across a cut and jumped 2 deer. Took off over there. Well, it's November 20th. It's the day after rifle season ended. It's muzzleloader season now for this week, and I believe that ends on Sunday. I got one buddy that is muzzleloader hunting, and he's had a pretty hard grind all season, so hopefully he gets it done this week. They're calling for snow later on in the week, so hopefully that will help. Matt never ended up coming down. He was actually on a couple of pretty nice deer there in Zone 10 where he lives, and I'm not surprised. I'm sure there's going to be more big deer shot in Zone 10. There's so many good crops for them up there, and I think it's more winter dependent up there on if they get a big year. There's probably quite a bit of kill off. So anyway, I put a camera, those cameras I put out on the weekend. I did get a picture of a buck coming through there. It's probably the one making those tracks, and I don't know which one it is. I did get a picture of a buck back in the early season, and I'm not sure which one it was, but I'm hoping this might be him, because he looked like he had a pretty big belly on him, so it's probably a pretty big mature deer. Other than that, I guess I'm just gonna keep checking cameras. Hopefully that G2 buck and the 8-point's still around. Kind of ruined my chances there early season for that, and I'm sure if I would have stayed with it, I probably would have got a crack at them again. So I hope they're still around. It's gonna be bigger next year, and I've got a pretty good idea now of how they're traveling. So anyway, hopefully everybody had a good fall, and thanks for watching.